Good morning. It's a nice sunshiny day. We had a lot of rain last night, so I thought it would be a good idea to kind of take a walk around and just look at what we've got going on here. We have some new additions to the garden as well. This little baby here, I don't think I've shared before, but this is actually one that will live inside, but since it's been so sunny, I moved it out. This is an arrangement I made with plants that I got from Moss and Timber. I know I did a plant haul video on that, but I'm addicted to succulents, and these ones are just so fun. If you can see this one here, it bloomed. So this is a Hiawatha, a zebra wort. So I put 2 of those in there. This is a painted Echeveria. You can see when she gets enough sun, the colors on her are beautiful. And then a little lawyer's tub. So it's super fun little arrangement. Reminds me of the time that we spent in St. George. I actually got these rocks, in St. George and the plants. So the lawn, if you guys can see, super excited. And the girls got to actually spend some time standing on the lawn. So they were digging that, and it's just come in so green and lush over here and working its way that way. So really excited. We'll have a lawn. We will have a lawn. And here is the newest lady to join the garden. This is a grafted cherry tree. So it actually has 3 different types of cherries on it, which I'm excited. I've never seen or been around a tree like that, but black Tartarian, a Stella cherry, and also McMorancy. Now I got 2 other trees. I got a Bing cherry tree. Obviously, we're into cherries in our family. And also an apple tree that has 3 varieties on it. We looked for peach trees. They just didn't look great. So I'm on the hunt for some peach trees. Here is where my Bing cherry will go. But oh my gosh, digging those holes was crazy. Digging a hole for a tree is no joke. It was like as deep as I am tall and wide. You have to make it like twice as wide and twice as tall as the root ball. So bless my husband, that sweet man, for digging these enormous holes. But he could only do one a night because he does it after he gets home from work. And the day before yesterday, when he dug that hole, he'd gone and laid sod too. So he was pretty tired. Okay, so we are back here in, the melon and squash or pumpkin area. What's so cool is these pumpkins here are ones that we actually planted indoors. So they're a couple months older. And then because I didn't know how they would shock and everything, I wanted to ensure we got some pumpkins. I just stuck 2 Big Mac's seeds into each hole, and these are the ones that just started from seed, and they are like, this one is enormous, but you'll see in each of the pumpkin holes here that these are just huge. And look at that one. Oh my gosh, I love it. So big. So we are gonna have a ton of pumpkins. I'm gonna love it because it will really green up the area too. So this is a seed, and this one is a seed. This is the one that's about 2 months old. So you will see, I'm sure you noticed in that other one, a little bit of pest damage. Today is the day I'm going to name everything again. The sad little cantaloupe. Yeah, I planted some more seeds because this one's having a rough go. This is the whiteflies. They actually will come and they just like suck the life out of the plants, and they'll do it all along the stem and the leaves, and we've been battling them terribly this year. I don't know if you can actually see it on camera, but all along the dirt here, there'll just be like a swarm of them once it warms up. So I've been spraying those, and I've been doing it every 5 days. You want to do it, every 5 to 10 days to break their life cycle. So here you can see this leaf has been, it's the neighbor's dog, sorry, has been really damaged by them, but these big leaves still look good on this honeydew. So hopefully it will still be okay. I really need to level out these piles of dirt while they're wet so they're not like a brick. This is an icebox watermelon, not exactly thriving. Again, you can see the damage on here from the bugs, so they'll be getting a nice neem bath today. And then this is another watermelon, so she's doing great. Okay, back up here by the porch, this is a citronella plant or mosquito plant. It helps to repel mosquitoes. We've been lucky, it stayed pretty cold, so we haven't really had an issue with mosquitoes, but as soon as it does finally get warm, we will. So I have 2 of these. This one is doing well. This one is in rehab. It's the sad guy that when we were out of town blew out of his pot and just was kind of laying out in the middle of the yard for a couple days. So repotted it. I did put some rocks in the bottom to keep it from tipping over, and cut it way back. But you can see it's got some new growth on it. So I think he's gonna be okay. This is the red yucca plant. Look at that. Teeny tiny, and it's gonna grow into this just ginormous thing. I'm really excited when that pops up to be able to show you guys. And the lemon tree. So this is a Meyer lemon tree. I got it from brighterblooms.com, and it's blooming, as you can see, but it has so many right here on this one little section, and then also right down here. Now, I will tell you, it really likes it warm, and it's been getting a little bit cold, I think, for it here the past couple of weeks. So we've had these random really cold days and nights. So hopefully it'll warm back up and she'll perk back up. All right, I'm super excited to show you. Some green things are actually happening out here now. I've been like so wanting there to be green that I just keep buying more plants. So you'll probably notice there's marigolds all throughout here. I did start some from seed. They just weren't coming up fast enough for me. But this is the potato box. Probably the fastest growing in the garden here. One of my favorite things are these purple. So these are a purple potato. And if you look on their leaves, they have this really cool purpley color to them. So I'm really, really excited for those. Literally, you come out every time I come out, there's new ones that are just popping up. So, oh, and then these bugs. So yeah, so excited. The potato bed is probably like when you need a smile, you can come out here because the potatoes are growing great. They're growing and yeah, doing awesome stuff. So there are 5 types of potatoes in here. We did French fingerling, the purple, we did a blue, and red potatoes, and then just russets. So I'm excited to get a good potato haul out of this here pretty soon, actually. Okay, here's Cole's prize tomatillo. It's getting better, bigger. I did come out here because a lot of it was on the ground, and when it's laying on the ground, you can see some scarring here. Like, just the bugs are way more able to get access to it. You'll still notice some bug damage, but like I said, today's the day. They're getting named again. But I took this tomato tape. I got this as a recommendation from another YouTube channel and actually started tying it up, helping it to grow up instead of down along the ground. Do you see this ant? What is he? Where are you going with that, bud? He's got like one little stick. But, yes, I think it's actually not an ant. That's one of the bugs eating all my plants. Okay. And then, of course, a little marigold here. Here's the other tomatillo. I am going tomorrow to get tomato cages from my dad for all these plants that need cages and need something to grow up on. So these are my beets. And of course, the beets are planted really close together. That was intentional because I love beet greens. So I'm actually going to harvest some of these and use them as beet greens, not let them grow up into great big beets. So I'll actually be pulling them out and sauteing them up just as greens. So yeah, these ones you'll see, they don't get as much sun because of the tomatillo. What a difference the sun makes, right? Craziness. So this is my spinach, some new little baby spinaches coming up. And this cooler weather is really helping because things like, spinach and a lot of your greens, like kale, that we'll see down there, they tend to go to seed once it gets too hot. So really this is helpful to keep these going. I do have spinach envy. My sister came over after the girl's birthday party and she was like, your spinach is tiny and your zucchini. And I was like, get out of here. We've had a war going on back here. So you'll also see these kind of sprinkled throughout the garden. These are definitely not planted. This is a weed called pig's foot. Here's a really big one. But since the whiteflies are eating foliage, I was going through and pulling these out. And then I thought to myself, like, gosh, if I can get them to eat those plants instead of these plants, I'm going to leave those in. So I am going to do another treatment today to keep those controlled. I think things are looking better, so I know that I've knocked down the population a ton. But I also ordered some ladybugs and praying mantises. But I need things to be big and lush and green. Otherwise, those type of insects are just going to find a better home. Okay, so these are turnips, and again, just like with the beets, I will be using some of these for turnip greens and then only letting a few of them go to turnips. My family's not crazy about beets or turnips. I am. I love them, but definitely they'll eat the greens like cooked spinach and not really know the difference. Here's the kale. Grateful to these later cooler temps because the kale has actually just started to produce, and I think it's getting those insects under control. There definitely are still some, and they're causing some damage, definitely, but way fewer. You'll notice all these sick leaves. Normally I go through and I prune those off, but so I learned that the neem oil that I'm using actually has to be on the leaves, and then these insects have to ingest it. So essentially you have to sacrifice some of your garden in order to get the neem oil into these insects and help to keep their population down. And so what I did is I left some that normally I would cut off, some that like the weeds and things like that I'm going to spray, hoping that they'll eat those. And then once I feel like we've really got things under control, then I'll come back and prune everything up. So you'll notice there's lots of tomato suckers and things that normally I would keep very tidy and cleaned up, but they're there basically as bait, because if I'm going to cut them off anyway, why not have the bugs eat those? So that's why you'll notice things look a little scraggly around here. And yes, it drives me a little bit nuts, but I want to make sure that I'm getting these buggers. More marigolds. These I planted definitely for the pollinators. I also got a couple hanging baskets because I wasn't seeing any bees. I wasn't seeing any butterflies, anything to pollinate. Really the only thing that we've had to pollinate are the tomatillos, and they're kind of, self-pollinating. But I added these, and literally the next day I came out and saw some bees and some butterflies, and so I was happy about that. Some of these peppers and tomatoes are doing a lot better. You can see this one here. This is a red beefsteak, and it's about to the trellis. I can't tell you how excited I am to tie these to the trellis. So come on, grow. I have been adding some new mulch and things like that to help encourage it and combat all the damage that the stinking whiteflies have been doing. Now here's something that I am so excited about. I planted some nasturtiums. And so this one sprouted out and one of the leaves were eaten, but this guy is doing well, and I'm so excited to just have more color in here. These will be great because they'll stay smaller even when the tomatoes and peppers are really big. Look at this poor guy. Wowzer. Getting just munched on. And then it makes it more susceptible to diseases. It looks like this leaf is rotten. Yeah, we don't want it to rot. So you can see some of the plants may need to be replaced because it's the middle of June and this is the saddest looking pepper there ever was. So this is a lunchbox orange snacking. Oh, not that one. That one looks great. This twig is a lunchbox orange snacking pepper who may not make it. you will see I pulled out the broccoli and cauliflower. The broccoli was having a really rough go, so I thought, okay, I'm going to tear everything out and just plant something new in this 2-foot section. Pulled out the cauliflower, and it actually was really growing well under there, so I'm wishing I hadn't done that, especially since we got another cold snap, but I did. It is what it is. I am sowing today some broccoli and cabbage that will be planted out for fall crops. Crazy, right? To think about. Look how pretty this one is. This little red. I love those. I love them. All right, so tomatoes. Here's some more peppers, and like I said, some more of that pig's foot that I am just going to be ripping out, kind of using it to get to an additional set of bugs. So these are my radishes, and I will do radish greens. I'll juice the radish greens, so you'll notice they're packed in here really tightly too. But I do have a couple, you can see, that are probably ready for harvest. So I'm going to plan a dinner where I will roast some radishes. My dad and my husband like them just straight out of the garden. They'll eat them like on a sandwich. The rest of us don't really care for them that way. This is my eggplant, and it's accompanied by something. I don't actually know what this plant is, but it has this purple on the underside of its leaves. So I'm trying, if anybody knows what that is, let me know, because I don't really want to tear it out. It's pretty cool, but I also really want to get some eggplant. And then carrots. Carrots are finally growing here. I will tell you, I amended the soil immensely. This little area here just got planted again, but I dug all of this out. I added a ton of sand and vermiculite to make it super light and very good for the carrots to sprout up in here. So, third try, fourth try, I can't remember how many tries this was. I did get a lot of these to germinate by keeping a board over them. So I had a piece of cardboard, then once they germinated, I had a board that set up on this lip so they could get airflow. But yeah, really excited to finally get some carrots going. Okay, this is the spaghetti squash bed. You can see the older stuff is just totally munched and eaten. The new stuff looks really good though. So when I've been watering, I've been spraying high pressure water on the backside of the leaves to keep the insects and any eggs and things off. Oh, and you can see, look at that. Can you see I'm rubbing this and they are falling off? Oh, no, you can't. All you can see is a leaf. So down here in the soil, these little creepy crawlies. So definitely time again to get named. What's crazy and really frustrating is that they're growing really well. So you'll see they have lots of this bright green new growth, but the older leaves are just getting demolished by insects. And so, like I said, I'm going to do neem oil today, and then I ordered both. I mean, look at these beans. This is just like enough to make me cry right here. I ordered ladybugs and praying mantises, and they are going to be set free upon these beds. I mean, these insects even ate marigolds, which are supposed to like repel insects. And I'll show you some of the marigolds are just totally munched to death. So these are, all 4 of them are spaghetti squash. And then along this side, I have green beans that are going to go up this trellis. They are Blue Lake beans is the variety. And this is, I have a second planting of these. I actually sowed some more in here because I'm, worried about these guys making it. And then along here are peas. So normally at this point in the year in Utah, peas are kind of a past, right? It's past the time that you would normally get peas, but we keep having these cold snaps. And so I'm really thinking that I might actually get some peas. And any peas I get will definitely just be a bonus. Look at these straggly guys trying to make it in the shadow of this T-post. Oh man, you can do it. Do it. Lavender. So I did plant out a lot of herbs. Again, I needed the green out here. It just looked like the desert. So this is some lavender. I have some chamomile in this pot right here. Then I actually have more tomatoes. Oh, and my hanging baskets. These baskets were actually on the clearance at Home Depot. We went to Home Depot on Sunday because they were just like dead. They looked terrible. And so I brought them home. I put them in some new dirt and I gave them some fertilizer. And they've really just perked up immediately. Like, look at that. Oh, so pretty. And this purple one basically just looked dead. And instantly I watered it. It had a ton of deadheads on it. And so I did a lot of deadheading and it just like sprung back to life. So I'm really excited. These should attract pollinators. I did put a new hummingbird feeder up here as well to help with that. But here I have chives in this pot. This is my dill that we're resuscitating. So I did put some more seeds in here. You'll notice it, since it got stressed, it is going to seed. And I'm actually going to let these go to seed and replant them because I think they are going to taste different because they were kind of out of a stress from lack of water. But I mean, so sad. I mean, look at this pot. I've done so much pruning and pulling it out, but it's all right. We will get enough to do all of our pickles and dilly beans and things like that. Okay, this is a Sweet 100 tomato. That is my sage. These hanging pots here that look empty, I just yesterday planted some nasturtiums in them. So I have an Alaskan mix, which has variegated foliage. It's gonna look super, super pretty. And then here is a Ford Hook Favorites. So they will actually trail out of these. And even though it might take 75 days, I'm patiently waiting. Keep you updated on that. Here's the poor tomato plant. This is a cherry tomato plant that was in the bed and was just getting devoured. But there is a little ladybug who is eating the little larvae off the inside, the backside of these leaves. And so I'm gonna let it go. It looks more like a truffula tree than it does an actual like tree or a tomato plant. And you can see it's just had so much damage to it, but I couldn't just throw it out. I know, bleeding heart. So I'm gonna get it. I told my husband I'm gonna rehab this tree too and give it some tender loving care and help it back. So hopefully that works. This is my cilantro. Again, this was a replant. You can see this one here. And this little bunch had some that were starting to go to seed because it came out of its pot and was just laying in the ground or in the dirt for a couple of days while we were out of town. So I did plant some new cilantro because I use a ton of cilantro. So really, I'll put some seeds in here as well, just for like succession sowing, making sure that I get tons of it. Because our family will go through more than this cilantro in 1 week. And it's sad. It's sad that I had to go buy some at the store. Okay, along this side here, we have some cucumbers, some cute little baby ones that have just sprouted out, and they will climb up this trellis. So they are pickling cucumbers. And then along that side, peas. And those peas will climb up, hopefully to meet the others. Again, keeping my fingers crossed on the peas. This is a tomatillo, and this is another pepper plant. We have so many pepper plants. And this is my okra. So you can see here getting a little bit of damage, getting eaten. And again, I'm gonna try to fix that today. This tomatillo didn't make it. It was completely devoured. So we'll have to get a new one to go there. Oh look, this okra has started to put on its true leaves. So I'm excited. I also didn't know okra puts out like the most beautiful blooms. So that should be amazing to see. All right, this bed over here is just doing the best. Really, it is the best out of all of them. Look at these tomato plants. This is a lemon boy, and it is huge. And again, I would be pruning some of that bottom stuff off, but I'm leaving it. It's my bait. You'll see this bed, both sides are cucumbers that'll climb up the trellis. I've left some pig's foot in here that obviously will be coming out, and then carrots. These are cosmic reds that are down along this side. My husband and my daughter planted those, so they will be fun. Lots of fun. I will tell you, my girl's favorite thing so far has been to come out and like rub the lemon balm or the peppermint and smell it. So I'm glad I put those out, even though they are just in these pots and things like that. But oh boy, what do we have here? Here we go. This is a roly-poly habitat. Probably don't want that in the garden, but there it is. These are the squash, as far as like a zucchini and then a yellow zucchini. So green zucchini and then heirloom straight neck squash. So these have been really getting hit hard by the bugs, and they're finally starting to fill out. Like I said, I feel like I'm finally getting some control by not only spraying with the neem oil, but coming out every day that I water and knocking all the little eggs and larvae off. But look at this thing, is like, I will reproduce. It has so many little squashes on it, and I think that it's like, I will survive. So it's gonna put all these out. I may have to pick some of those off just so we get some actual viable good big ones. But and then these are the second sowing of green beans, mostly because, as you can see, these, they did not make it. They were totally demolished by the insects. So I'm hoping these ones will live. Here is my peppermint. Oh, I love the smell of it. It smells so good. I'm going to be trying all of these for teas, different things, putting them in drinks. And over there's the spearmint. It was totally dead, and I have new growth coming in. I don't know what it is about new leaves. It just, I don't know, makes me happy. Makes me smile. Speaking of new leaves, I was really afraid that all of these had been getting so eaten, all my beans. And I use green beans for a lot. Like, I can green beans. We eat a ton of fresh green beans. And then I make it's called dilly beans. So I put out pole beans. So in here you'll see these are pole bean plants. Like I said, I just keep planting because I need it to be green back here. Pole beans, and then a third little section over here of pole beans. So yeah, I think I'll get some beans, I hope. I put these around them like little teepees, but I'm actually gonna put something a little bit better that'll help them grow so that we can make sure we're getting all of the beans. And yeah, pretty amazing. I'm pretty happy with how things are going. Of course, I wish it would speed up. Oh man, story about the pool over here. Normally when I fill up the kids' pool, I'll put, I usually put bleach in it, just a little bit. It's a lot of gallons of water, so a little bit of bleach just keeps like bugs and insects from nesting in there, and keeps it clean from growing like this green algae slime. And this last time, the day after I filled up the pool, they announced that we were going on water restrictions. So my husband was like, well, we can't be filling up the pool a couple times a week, and we need to be able to use that water that you are putting in the pool, so don't put bleach in it. So it has a little nozzle where you can hook a hose to. So I hooked a hose to this pool, and it literally took all day long to drain. So put a hose on there, and then like as I'm doing this, I noticed there are creatures inside the pool, like swimming around, like water beetle type things. Really creepy. So I'm pumping that out, and I moved it all over in the grass area. So I had like a sprinkler that I was out there moving and draining out of the pool, and then I had to like reach my hand in there in the slime, and oh, anyway, it was just gross. But I can serve that water. The kids aren't filling up the pool again. So well, thank you so much for walking around my garden with me and seeing everything that's going on. I'm super excited here in the next couple of 3 weeks. It should all really green up, fill up these trellises, and just be the desert oasis that I hoped it would. For now, it's raining again, so I'll see you in the next video.